Pay attention to what I am going to tell you now. This video was not supposed to appear to you. It was not supposed to be in your feed. You were not supposed to click, but you clicked. And if you are here, listening to this at this exact moment, it is because something inside you already knows that this message is for you. I am not going to stall. I am not going to beat around the bush. God is giving you a deadline, and this deadline is running out. Today, now in this minute, something is being decided in your life. Something that you perhaps do not even perceive, but that will change everything from here on. If you ignore what you are going to hear in the next few minutes, you will continue in the same cycle of pain, of confusion, of emptiness. But if you stay until the end, you will understand why this specific day was set apart for you. I am not talking about cheap motivation. I'm talking about a turnaround that has already begun, and that you need to recognize before time runs out. I know that you are tired. Tired of waking up every day with that weight in your chest. Tired of pretending that everything is fine when inside everything is collapsing. You look to the side, and everyone seems to be advancing. The neighbor bought a new car. The colleague from work was promoted. That relative who used to ask for money now posts photos in expensive restaurants. And you? You are there, stuck, doing everything right, and yet nothing changes. You pay the bills on the day, take care of the family, work honestly, and still it seems there is an invisible hand holding your feet to the ground. Let me tell you something that perhaps no one has ever told you. This is not a weakness of yours. This is not a lack of competence. This is not bad luck. What happens to you has a root that goes far beyond what your eyes can see. And it is exactly about this that this video will treat. But before continuing, I need you to do a simple thing. If at any moment of this video you feel that what you are hearing makes sense, that it seems it was written for your life, leave a comment with the word accepted. Just that. One word. Because when you declare something out loud or even in writing, you activate a spiritual agreement that changes the direction of your history. Agreed? Then let us go. There is a phenomenon that psychology calls decision fatigue. Researchers from the University of São Paulo have already demonstrated that the average Brazilian over 35 years old makes more than 300 decisions per day. Only most of these decisions are invisible. You decide if you get up or press the snooze button. You decide if you drink coffee or skip breakfast. You decide if you say something to the boss or swallow one more thing. You decide if you complain about the market price or just accept it. And each one of these micro-decisions consumes an energy that you do not even realize you are spending. At the end of the day, you are destroyed, not physically, but mentally, emotionally, spiritually. And then comes that sensation, I cannot take it anymore. But you do, because the next day, everything begins again. Now, what very few people understand is that this exhaustion is not only mental, it is spiritual. When the Bible says in Isaiah 43 verse 19, Behold, I do a new thing, and right now it is springing up, do you not perceive it? It is talking exactly about this. God is moving pieces in your life at this exact instant, but exhaustion has blinded you, tiredness has plugged your ears, routine has anesthetized your spiritual perception. You are so busy surviving that you forgot to perceive that something new is being born. And it is precisely at this point that many people err. They think they need to do more, work more hours, pray more time, fast more days. And it is not that. It is not about quantity, it is about consciousness. It is about perceiving what is already happening around you and that you, by pure exhaustion, cannot see. You know that moment when you are lying in bed, in the early hours of the morning, and suddenly a thought comes out of nowhere? It is not a common thought. It is something that seems larger than you. An idea, a memory, a sensation that something is about to change. You feel it in your whole body. But then the alarm clock rings, you get up, and that disappears. Well then, that was not just a thought. That was a calling. And you have been ignoring this calling for longer than you imagine. Perhaps you are asking yourself, but why me? What is special about me? And this question reveals exactly the problem. You spent so much time being diminished, being ignored, being treated as if you had no value, that now you cannot even accept that there is an enormous purpose reserved for your life. It is as if someone had placed a crooked mirror in front of you, and you grew up believing that that distorted image was the real one. But it is not. The real image is another. And today, now, this mirror is going to be broken, I'm going to ask you one thing. I know that you are used to skipping forward in the video, or leaving when you see that it is long, but do not do that today. Because in a little while I am going to reveal to you something that will connect points that you never imagined were linked. Something that explains why certain doors closed, why certain relationships ended, and why you feel this constant restlessness even when you should be at peace. Subscribe to the channel now, activate the bell, because what comes next is the part that changes everything. Let us talk about what is really blocking your life. And no, it is not Macumba. It is not the fat eye, evil eye. It is not the neighbor's envy. It is something much deeper and much more silent. The science of epigenetics has already proven something that the Bible has spoken of for thousands of years. The traumas of your parents and grandparents remain recorded in your body. Literally. Researchers from the Federal University of Minas Gerais published studies showing that patterns of stress and fear can be transmitted for up to 3 generations. That is to say, that fear that you feel and do not know where it comes from, that anxiety that appears without reason, that sensation that something terrible is going to happen at any moment, it might not be yours. It might be an invisible inheritance from your parents, from your grandparents, from your lineage. And it is exactly this that Exodus 20 verse 5 describes when it speaks about iniquities that pass from generation to generation. It is not a magic curse. It is a spiritual pattern that installs itself and repeats until someone has the courage to break it. And if you are hearing this now, that someone might be you. In fact, I believe it is you, because people who do not have this calling simply do not reach this point in the video. They would have already left, but you are here. This says a lot. Think with me. How many times have you been close to a change and suddenly everything went wrong? How many times did a good job appear and vanish? A promising relationship fell apart without explanation. A business opportunity that seemed perfect simply evaporated. This is not coincidence, this is a pattern. And patterns are not broken with willpower, patterns are broken with revelation. When you understand the root, the fruit changes. And this root has 3 layers that I'm going to show you now. The first is the layer of identity. Who you believe you are determines everything that you attract, everything that you accept, and everything that you reject. If deep down you believe that you do not deserve it, that you are not capable, that you were born to suffer, then all of your reality will mold itself to confirm this belief. It is what neuroscience calls confirmation bias. Your brain literally filters reality to prove that your beliefs are right. If you believe that you are invisible, your brain will ignore all the evidence that you are seen and valued. It is an automatic mechanism, and it operates 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, without you perceiving it. The second layer is the layer of forgiveness, and here I know it will hurt, because probably there is someone in your life who hurt you in a way that you never completely overcame. It could be a father who abandoned you, a mother who criticized too much, an ex who betrayed you, a friend who stabbed you in the back, and you carry this. You have carried it for years, perhaps decades, and this weight is not only emotional, it is physical. Studies from the Heart Institute of São Paulo have already shown that chronic resentment increases the risk of cardiac problems by up to 40%. Your body is literally sickening because of a grudge that you refuse to let go of. Not because you are weak, but because no one taught you how to let go. And look at the depth of this. In Matthew 6, verse 14 and 15, Jesus does not suggest forgiveness, he conditions it. He says that if you do not forgive others, the Father will also not forgive you. This is not punishment, it is spiritual mechanics. It is as if forgiveness were a valve. When it is closed, nothing flows, neither blessing, nor healing, nor prosperity, nothing. Everything remains stagnant, and you stay there, praying, fasting, doing everything right, and nothing happens, because the valve is stuck. The third layer is the most invisible of all. It is the layer of time, and it is here that the title of this video gains meaning. God operates in specific times. The Bible calls this Kairos. It is not the time of the clock, it is the time of God. And this time has windows that open and close, Ecclesiastes 3 verse 1 says that everything has its determined time. There is a time to plant and a time to harvest. There is a time to weep and a time to laugh. And there is a time to act. And this time is now, not tomorrow, not next week, now. I know it seems too urgent. I know part of you wants to rationalize and say, this is just to create pressure. But it is not. Think of your own life. How many times did you postpone something, and when you finally went to do it, it was already too late? How many times did you leave it for later and the later never arrived? The job you did not apply for. The person you did not ask for forgiveness before they departed. The conversation you never had. Time does not wait. And God does not waste opportunities. If this video reached you today, it is because today is the day. Now I need to tell you something that will seem strange at first, but that makes total sense when you connect the points. This sensation of urgency that you are feeling now, this tightness in the chest, this redoubled attention, this is not anxiety. This is spiritual activation. It is your spirit recognizing that something is happening at a level that your rational mind has not yet processed. It is like when you enter a room and feel that something is wrong before seeing any evidence. Your spirit perceives before your brain. And at this moment your spirit is screaming, "Pay attention." That was why I prepared the powerful digital book for you. It is called How to Know If God Will Save You at the Final Judgment. This material is not just any book. It is a spiritual map that will show you exactly where you are, what is blocking your life, and what practical steps you need to take to unlock this new phase. Thousands of people have already accessed this content and reported changes that they cannot explain with words. People who were stuck for years and in weeks saw doors opening. People who carried anguish in their chest and finally felt peace. The link is here in the description of the video and also pinned at the top of the comments. Touch it now. Do not leave it for later. This content may go offline at any moment, and I do not want you to lose this opportunity. If this touched your heart, comment, "I accept" down here. Returning. I spoke about the 3 layers that block your life: identity, forgiveness, and time. But there is a 4th element that unites all of this, and it is the most powerful of all. It is the decision. See, most people live in automatic mode. Wake up, work, eat, sleep, repeat. Day after day, week after week, year after year. And when you ask, "How are you?" the answer is always the same. Naluta, in the struggle. This phrase, "in the struggle," became almost a national mantra. Every Brazilian over 35 years old has already said this thousands of times, but I want you to pay attention to what this phrase reveals. It reveals that you placed yourself in a position of constant resistance, of survival, not of advancement, not of conquest, of struggle. And he who is struggling is not building. He is only trying not to fall. And it is exactly this that the enemy wants, to keep you too busy to perceive, too tired to act, too confused to decide. Because the decision is the most powerful weapon you have. A genuine decision changes the trajectory of your life in 1 second. Not in 1 year, in 1 second. The problem is that true decisions require courage, and courage requires clarity. And clarity is exactly what you lack when you are exhausted, confused, and overwhelmed. Romans 12 verse 2 speaks about the renewal of the mind. And this word renewal in the original Greek is anakainosis. It means literally to make new from top to bottom. It is not a renovation. It is not an adjustment. It is total reconstruction. It is as if God said, "Stop trying to fix what is broken. I want to give you something completely new." But to receive the new, you need to let go of the old. And letting go hurts. Letting go scares. Letting go seems like loss. But it is gain. It is the greatest gain of your life. I want you to imagine a scene. You are in a dark room. You have been in this room for so long that your eyes have grown accustomed to the darkness. You can walk, you can move, you can even function in there, but you do not see. Then someone opens a door, and a sliver of light enters. In the first moment it hurts. Your eyes sting. You want to close the door again, because the darkness, despite being limiting, was comfortable. It was known. The light is unknown. The light reveals things that you did not want to see. Mess, dirt, cracks. But the light also reveals the exit, and it is only through the light that you are going to leave that room. This light is the truth about who you are, the truth about what God prepared for you, the truth about why you went through everything you went through. Nothing was in vain. Each pain, each loss, each betrayal, each sleepless night, each hidden tear, all of this was building something in you that is yet to be revealed. And when it is, you will understand. You will cry, but out of gratitude. You will look back, and you will see that each stone in the path was, in truth, a step. I know that right now there are people watching this video with tears in their eyes, because what is being said here is not information. It is confirmation. Your heart already knew this. Your soul already felt this. You only needed to hear it from someone. And today, God chose this video to be that voice in your life. So if this video is making sense to you, like it now, not for me, but because when you like it, the algorithm takes this message to another person who also needs to hear this today. You can be the instrument that God will use to reach someone who is at the edge of the abyss. Think about that. Now let us go to the deepest point of all. I said that this day was prepared for you, and I meant exactly that, not in a generic way, not as a pretty Instagram phrase, in a literal way. Psalm 139 verse 16 says that all the days of your life were written in the book of God before even one of them existed. Before you were born, before your parents met, before Brazil existed as a nation, this day was already in the plan. And if this day was already in the plan, what happens on this day was also already foreseen. This message that you are hearing now is not random. It is not entertainment. It is part of the plan. And the plan includes a choice that you are going to need to make. Not later, now. Because God has already prepared the next step. He has already opened the door. But you are the one who needs to cross. Think of a 42-year-old Brazilian mother. She works the whole day. She arrives home and still has to take care of the house, the children, the husband. She has no time for herself, no time for God, no time even to breathe properly. And every night before sleeping she feels that tightness, that guilt, that sensation that she is failing at everything. With the children, with the marriage, with the faith, with herself. And she prays. She prays asking for strength. She prays asking for direction. She prays asking for a sign, and the sign arrives, but she does not recognize it, because the sign does not come as she expected. It does not come in a ray of light, nor in an audible voice. It comes in a video that appears on the cell phone at 11 at night, when everyone has already slept. It comes in a phrase that makes the heart accelerate. It comes in a tear that falls without permission. If you are this mother, this father, this child, this person who is carrying the world on your back and imploring for an answer, the answer has arrived. This is the moment. This is the day. And the proof that it is real is simple. You are still here. Those who did not have to hear this have already left. You stayed. Because deep down, you know. That was why I prepared the powerful digital book for you. How to know if God will save you at the final judgment, will open your eyes to dimensions that you did not access. It is in the description and at the top of the comments. Access it now. Your family needs this revelation as much as you do. Do not postpone any longer what God is placing in your path. I want to tell you something that happened with a woman from Recife. She was 53 years old. She worked as a cleaning assistant. She raised 3 children alone after the husband abandoned the family. She lived at the limit, financially, emotionally, in everything. One day, watching a video similar to this one, something changed inside her. It was not something external. Money did not appear out of nowhere. A new job did not arrive the next day. What changed was her perception. She understood that she was not a victim, she was a survivor. And more than a survivor, she was a warrior with a purpose. From that day on, she began to make different decisions, small at the beginning, but each decision generated another decision, and in 6 months, her life was unrecognizable. Not because the circumstances changed first, but because she changed first. And when you change, the world around is obliged to reorganize itself. This is not self-help. This is spiritual law. 2 Corinthians 5:17. If anyone is in Christ, he is a new creature. Old things have passed away. Behold, all things have become new. Pay attention to the order. First you become new, then things become new. It is not the opposite. You do not wait for life to improve to change. You change and life improves. This is the divine order. And now I need to be direct with you. The greatest danger of your life is not what can go wrong. It is what might not happen because you did not act. The greatest tragedy is not the failure, it is the omission. It is reaching the end and realizing that everything was prepared for you. The door, the opportunity, the revelation, and you did not cross. Because you were afraid. Because you thought it was too good to be true. Because you thought, later, I will see this. Hebrews 3 verse 15 is very clear. Today, if you hear his voice, do not harden your hearts. Today, not tomorrow. Not when you are more prepared. Not when the conditions are perfect. Today. Because tomorrow is not guaranteed for anyone. And this day, this exact day that you are living now, is the day that God set apart for you to make the decision that will split your history into two halves, before and after. I know what you are feeling now. It is a mixture of fear with hope, of doubt with certainty, of a will to believe, and a fear of being disappointed again. I understand. You have already been disappointed so many times. You have already believed in promises that were not fulfilled. You have already invested faith in situations that went wrong. And now there is a part of you that built a wall of protection, so as not to be hurt again. But this wall that protects you from pain also prevents you from receiving the blessing. You cannot live shielded and at the same time open to receive. The two things do not coexist. So here goes the question that God is asking you at this moment. Are you going to continue hiding behind this wall, or are you going to have the courage to tear it down and walk in the direction of what was prepared for you? No one can answer this for you. Not I, not your pastor, not your mother. This decision is yours, and it needs to be made now, because the 3 minutes are ending. Not literally, of course, but spiritually. There is a window that is open in your life at this moment, and spiritual windows do not stay open forever. They open, they wait, and they close. And when they close, you do not know when they will open again. It could be months, it could be years, it could be never. Proverbs 27 verse 1 says, "Do not boast about tomorrow, for you do not know what tomorrow will bring." This is not to scare you, it is to awaken you. It is to make you act while the door is open, while the voice is still speaking, while the heart is still soft. I'm going to close this video, but before I need to say one last thing, and this is the most important of all. Everything that you heard here was not by chance. Each word, each example, each verse, everything was placed in a specific order to reach exactly the point where you are now. This video was a seed, but a seed only gives fruit if it is watered, and the watering begins with a concrete action. That was why I prepared the powerful digital book for you. How to know if God will save you at the final judgment is the next step that God prepared for your journey. It is not a coincidence that you watched this entire video. It is not a coincidence that you are feeling this in your chest. The responsibility now is yours. The link is in the description and pinned at the top of the comments. Touch it now, before this window closes. Other people have already taken this step, and today live in a spiritual dimension that they did not even know existed. Do not let fear paralyze you again. Comment down here, "Today I decide," and make this declaration real before God and all who are reading. Share this video with someone who needs to hear this today. Because if this message reached you, there is someone in your life who is waiting for exactly this word. God bless you. And remember, this day was prepared for you. Do not waste it.